Hello there, welcome back to another build tutorial for ARK Survival Ascended. Today we're going to be building this workshop that I made for my own main base, but you can basically place it anywhere as long as you have a little bit of space. It's quite a big building because it needs plenty of space for all your storage, all your big machinery to produce all the things that you need in this game, and it will also have easy access for your dinos to get in and out, so you can easily transfer stuff that you've harvested on dinos to your storage or to your machines. After the tutorial, I'll also show you what it looks like in my own world and what adjustments I made to make it fit into my environment as well. Alright, let's get started with the foundations. You might need a pretty flat spot for this, but if it doesn't work with normal foundations, you could also use pillars and ceilings to make the same shape. We're starting out with a 2x4, and then we're going to go 2 to the other side and 2 on this side as well, so with the one gap there, and then we're going to make this 4 again, so basically doing the same as we started with, and we'll do that on both sides, so we make it 2x4 again, and then we're gonna fill this in, so we have this entire shape ending in those 4, and then we're gonna go out here by 7 for foundations, so you have a long hallway basically, and then of course 4 again here, so we have it 4 wide, and then connect it up and just fill in the entire floor wall. If you want some like wood in the middle, you could also do that if you like the look of that. So there we go. This should be your foundation, so the big long hallway, and then this little end part for all your entrances to have your dinos come in and have your balconies and everything. All right, let's start with the dino gates. Stone gate here on the other side as well. Yeah, right there. And then one on the long end as well. Another thing on the other end, we're going to build normal windows and normal doors there. We'll place some stairs here, especially if you're building with like pillars and ceilings. You definitely want to have stairs because you'll probably be a little bit higher. There we go. We got the stairs here so we can easily access the door, and it just looks a little bit better than just having a random foundation going on. Alright, let's add in the doors for the gates as well, so they are completed right away. That's the gates done for now. So this should be the foundation, 3 gates on them, and yeah, it should look something like this. Let's grab our stone pillars, or beams in this case, and let's go around the entire foundation. We'll leave rooms for where the doors are going to be, so we'll leave the middle 2 open. And then continue on connecting this all up. There we go. Just follow the entire foundations. Here you want to go 3 out, then leave 1 gap, and then 3 again. Because there's going to be another door there. Same on this side. So 3 out, 1 gap, and then 3 again. And then you can just connect it up all the way to the gate again. Then for the foundations here, it's not that high, so it's not really necessary to place these pillars below, but just for the completionist in me, I'll do it. But especially if you're building with ceilings, this will be necessary to have like enough foundation support. This can be a little bit flicky sometimes, getting the right snap points, but it's just basically to complete it. And if your foundations stick out a little bit higher, this will make it look a little bit nicer, have some extra details to the foundation layer of the workshop. There we go, we got that one in. You might want to add some next to the gate as well. And there we go, that corner. There might be some spots where you have to work a little bit harder. Some spots you might not be able to place them. It really depends on your landscape. But just to make it all complete, it should look something like this. There we go. I think we've done them all. So now we have the entire foundation with the stone beams and stone pillars. And then we can get started on some walls. First off, we're going to look where the doors are. There's going to be 2 double doors here. because we're going to have a porch slash balcony there. We're going to have a double door on this side and the middle bit that we left open on both sides as well. So that are going to be your extra doors besides the big gates. Then we want to go to the, I guess the door without a frame at the top. And we want to have them next to these double doors. They're going to serve as some windows. And we want to have them on the corners as well of this long bit. There we go. So I should have something like this. We're gonna have a lot of these because these I use as windows and I want a lot of light to be able to come in here. So we're not gonna use them all as actual doors, even though technically you could, of course. It's just to have a lot of light coming into the base, which I like because, you know, it just looks nice and it makes sure that you don't have to use too many torches or whatever to light up your base. And then the rest we can start filling in with some normal wooden walls as well. So just keep checking where you haven't placed anything. Now next to these gates you can either go with normal wall or more windows depending on your landscape or your situation and your preference, of course. Any window you could technically switch out for just a normal wall if you would like, or the location needs it. So that's the first layer done. Then we're gonna add, of course, more layers because this is way too low, especially for those gates. But we're gonna flip all the wood so we have a different texture on the outside. So yeah, just connect the same windows in the same locations, but just flip the wood around so we have the different texture. I think that looks really nice, both on the inside and on the outside. So you have a little bit of diversity, I guess. And you just go around all the walls and yeah, place the same structure but flipped. I usually do one at a time, so like you see right now I do all the windows first and then switch to the next type because it makes it a little bit easier instead of you know, switching back and forth between building materials. There we go. Just make sure that you keep flipping them around so we have the wooden beams on the inside right now. And the other side on the outside. There we go. Skip those two. And then this corner, we're almost there. There's a lot of walls in this. It's a bigger structure, of course, but it does really work. And I think you can fit most, if not all, machines you will need in this base. And you'll be able to get in and out with most dinos, except the very big ones, of course. There we go. Okay, so we've done all the windows. Now we can fit in the double doors there and there. And of course on this side as well. Just make sure they're all facing the right way. And then we can fill in the last bits with normal walls as well. Just to make sure that the walls are all completed. There we go. One more here. Oh, that was not where it's supposed to go. That's better. All right, let's fit this in as well. So just keep filling in your walls until you have made sure that you have everything as it should be. I think that is everything. Oh no, we missed one here. There we go. So your walls should now be 3 high, one flipped, one normal layer, and then the other one flipped. And then we'll do the pillars as well. So on the corners, of course, we want to go up with some wooden pillars to add some extra details, to add some extra structure. And around the gates, we want to do it with stone pillars. And we're also going to have beams going across. So we're basically closing in the entire gate to add some extra support. Now, again, corner, we definitely want to have a beam, wooden pillar there. You can add some extra pillars for more detail. Personal preference, you could add all of them that I'm doing, but you could also decide to do differently. So we'll go here as well for the empty wall to spice that up a little bit. And then on the side of the main door, because as I said, the other doors are technically for us just windows. So we're not going to place them everywhere, but the empty walls, I like to add them in. And then of course this corner again, we want to have some pillars. And then around the gate, we do the same thing with the stone pillars and then beams to just make sure that we enclose the gate. And here again, the corners. We want to have some wooden pillars here as well. Another corner. Then I don't do anything on the front, just on the corners here, because yeah, this corner as well. You could add, of course, more pillars, but I don't think you need them on the front. You could add them here or here, but I want the front to be basically a nice window and let in a lot of light, which helps if there's no pillars. Then another gate, so more stone pillars to encase this gate as well. Make sure it fits in nicely with the rest of the structure. And then we're almost completely done with the pillars. It's a big build, so there's a lot of things to place, but should be relatively easy once you've decided where you want your pillars. But I think these look very nice. Add some structure to the build and just make it look a little bit more detailed, less flat. Okay, so now we can have our greenhouse doors and basically fill in everything. Just stack them on top of each other, like so. And these will be your windows, and then of course on some parts they will be actual doors. Like this will be an actual door, so let's open that just to make it a little bit more clear. That's an actual door. The rest of them we'll just use as windows, but I like having these narrow slits of light going in, because it just means you have a lot of light coming in during the daytime, which is very nice. So you don't need all the torches or all the lamps being on every time. There we go. And I think it also just makes the building look nice, like instead of having boring flat walls or the tiny windows that we normally get. There we go. So just go around, fill everything in, and there's a lot of them. So yeah, just go around making sure everything has a door / window in it. And then here, of course, we have the double doors again. These are going to be doors, door, or porch in this case. Could be a balcony. It really depends on where you're building. Oh, there we go. So those doors can be open, and we should have something like this. The complete building is now filled in, at least the walls of it, and then we're gonna have to, of course, go up and build a roof in a second. But yeah, just want to make sure that you have placed all your doors to make the whole structure complete, basically. Then we're gonna be building the roof here. I'll show you once, and it's the same on all ends. So you want to start with the quarter walls normally, place them like this, one from the outside, and then flip them around and place one on top of them. This means that you can align the sloped walls. If it doesn't fit, it means that you didn't flip them right. Then you could decide to keep the window going, but I don't think it makes a lot of sense. So I always just use normal walls to fill this in so that the roof part kind of ends the windows in a nice natural way. Then again, we're going to do the same trick with these walls. So we start with the normal orientations, then we flip them and we place a second layer on top. And then we're going to go in with the sloped wall, connect it up, and then we're going to go one up to make the roof meet each other in the middle. And you'll have the natural one block overhang. And you do that on all sides. Then we add in this little helpful bit at the top. This will be helpful for the roof, so don't forget to add that in as well. So you should have something like this, the roof on every end and a little help bit to make sure that we can actually snap the roofs in the right place, because we'll be creating a little one or half a roof overhang, so it's not too drastic. And then we'll go into the corner like this, and then we can just connect the roof up again, and we'll have the nice overhang on both sides. I personally really like the look of this roof, because I don't like the roof ending at the same length as the wall. So this is a nice and easy way to get that natural looking overlap. So now we want to fill in this second layer of the roof, just connecting the roofs until we come to the corner, and then we do our corner pieces like so. Should line up perfectly, and then just fill in the other roofs as well. Then for the third layer, it's going to overlap a little bit. You want to make sure to place this one first. Now, then we have to do something a little bit different. To make it easier, place this roof first. So we can just connect this roof here because we need to make sure that the corner will align. You can get rid of this one now. And then we can make the corner align perfectly because we have the overlap in the roof. And then on this side, you can just fill in the roof like so. And then again, you have the little overlap here. So make sure nothing is sticking out and the roof aligns nicely. So you don't have any weird roof pieces on the inside. And you should have the corner like this. Now we're going to do that same corner on this side as well. So basically repeating what we did on the other side. So we start here in the middle, then we connect the bottom part, we make the corner right here, and then we can continue with our roofs again. We go one layer up, we have the roof here, we go to the corner, build the corner of the roof like normal, and then the slightly trickier part comes. Now we have already the guidelines, so you can snap in the walls in the right place. Start with this one. That makes it a little bit easier. That's to line up the corner in the right way so that it overlaps without having any weird parts on the inside. And then you can have the normal roof on the end as well, so it all works out. And then you can go like so and like this. So the whole roof on this side is done and we have no weird parts sticking out on the inside. That is very important to make it look all nice on the inside as well. Then we have the other side of the roof corners, of course. We're starting out very similar, finding the right snap point with the little help we build. And then we go to the bottom layer first to build in the roofs and go around the corner, which should line up on the right spot. And then we can have roofs again connecting up so we can make the corner like so, which should all still line up without any problems like so. So we have the corner going the right way. Then we want to start with the top layer, which will be again a little bit more tricky to make it line up. So make sure you have this ending here because that's where you can connect the corner to, where we'll get a nice corner, and then we can fill in the rest of the roof as well. So we have it like this. We'll do the same on the other side as well. So we want to make sure that everything lines up nicely. Like this, you can see there's no weird overlap and no weird pieces on the inside. So you start again with the little snap point here with a little guide in the top. Sometimes just have to flip through them, connect them up like so, go for the corner, build the corner piece here, still easy. Second layer also still easy, just line them everything up, should be all fine. And then the next layer again, a little bit more tricky, where you want to have the inside line up first. So you go like this, so you have the corner, so you're sure that everything lines up, and then you can just connect it like normally. You should have no weird pieces on the inside, very important. And then we can continue the roof for this long hallway part. First the bottom layer, which should be relatively easy because everything should just line up like so. So if we connect it here, everything should be just connecting up and lining up, and we'll have the little one overhang on the end. So we'll do that on both sides. So the bottom layer, nice and easy. Like so. And then we're gonna go to the second layer. We're gonna go for the snap point here because we need to make sure that we line it up nicely for the little roof extension that we're gonna build on this part of the roof, because otherwise it would be very flat and boring if we don't do anything. So you want to have the bottom layer here, or the top layer here first, until the first three, so it should line up like this. And this is where we're gonna do the corner pieces, because we'll have the little extra part here. So you should have something like this. Oh nope, that's not right. Yeah, so this should line up basically with the door that we have in the middle of this part of the building. So you have this lines up with the rest of the roof, of course. Make sure you have no weird overlapping things in the corner. And then you can do the middle part of the roof as well. Fill it in until you meet the little addition that we just made, and then the middle of it should line up with the middle of the door. So you should have something like this, and then we can connect 2 more roofs to it to have a little bit more sticking out. And then of course we want to fill it in because this looks kind of weird. So we'll start out with adding these quarter walls or quarter ceilings to have a little bit of a foundation to work on. Get rid of this one. This one is not needed. So we should have something like this. Add in some walls to make sure that it looks a little bit nicer. We don't have any gaps, so we should have this right now. And then of course we want to make a wall here because otherwise it's a big gap in our roof. We want to have a window here, get some light in on the top layer as well. Flip it like this. We're going to add some glass to that later. We could add the quarter walls here, but we'll still have a gap at the top. We'll have a lot of gaps, too much air. So we'll just use the slope wall, even though it sticks out a little bit on the end. Don't worry about that just yet. And then on the other side, we basically want to do the same. There we go. So you should have something that looks like this. Then what we want to do is we want to add... Well, this is actually optional. This is up to you if you like it or not. I like to have a little extra ledge here to make it stand out even more. So, do we need those? I don't think so. There we go. Let's get rid of them for now. So a little ledge like this just adds a little bit extra detail. Want to add in some pillars here as well to fill in a little bit more of the gap. This is the best that we can do. Fill in the window as well, or the door I should say. So you should end up with something like so. I think it looks pretty nice, and especially because the big roof otherwise would be very, very boring. So let's make the same thing on the other side as well, and then I'll show you the 2 variations you can do for this little extra part that sticks out. So first off, we're gonna go 3 in with the normal roof to create this part where the roof sticks out a little bit, corner like this, and then we can just fill it in like so. Make sure that you don't have any weird overlap on the inside. So watch where you're placing your roofs. But if you do it like this, everything should work out fine. And you should end up with the roof like this. Add it along so. And then we're going to go in with the ceilings down there. We can add in the 2 layers right away. Add in the little wall on the inside, of course, to make it look a little bit nicer. There as well. And then we're gonna make the window again. So we'll have this flipped outside. Sloped roof on the sides, of course, to fill it all in. And then we add the pillars again to fill in the last little bit. The top bit, we can't really do anything about that, but that's fine. And then we'll add in the window as well. So this part is all done. So now we have the same on both sides. This looks fine. You can definitely use this. I think it looks okay. Definitely add some detail to what would otherwise be a very flat roof. What you could do is... that's not what you could do. Well, you could do that, but I wouldn't advise it. So let's fill that back in. As I said, these are optional. If you like the little ledge, you can keep it, but you could also decide not to have it. So it would look like this. It's a little bit cleaner, and you still have the addition of the little roof to, you know, stick out of the long part without it being too boring. Then we want to probably add a corner piece here as well, which should work without overlapping, and it looks a little bit nicer or a little bit more smooth. So this is another way you could add a little bit more variation and a little bit of a bigger out sticking portion to the roof. On this side we'll do the other variation. So again, we'll add these because that connects up really nicely, and then you can connect the ledge all the way to the roof bit, which I personally think this looks really nice. The little ledge just has a little bit extra detail along the roof. There we go. On the front side where we have the double doors, we want to start adding in the porch or a balcony depending on your location. For now we're just going to go with the porch like so, because we want to have a little bit of room on the outside that we can use to maybe add some extra decorations or some forges or whatever you want to add on your porch. Just have a little of extra space. So we want to add some pillars on these, so like 1 in front of the building and go 3 up in total, because we're going to add a little extra roof bit here as well as some extra details. So add in some quarter ceilings like this, connect them all up, and then we can make the little roof guideline. Again, we start with one variation of the wooden quarter wall in the middle, like so, and then we go to the other variation for the top layer, so everything lines up with the sloped wall. If you have gaps, you use the wrong variation, and we go for this shape again, so we have the nice little roof piece here. And again, we need a little guidelines or helpers for the snap point, so you want to add some quarter ceiling here and then a quarter wall in between, so we have the extra snap points that we need to place in the roof in the right way. Make sure that you're watching where you place the roofs, because you don't want to overlap to the inside of the building. So you want to do it like this. Second one is easier if you place it on the other side first, so you can just line it up with that. And then you will have to get rid of it first before you can place the other ones, because otherwise I don't think it will let you find the right snap point. So again, find this snap point and then try to find the snap point for the second roof without overlapping to the inside. Sometimes this can be a little bit tricky, so it's just a matter of moving around, pressing the button to switch around all the snap points, and have a little bit of patience. Oh, I think we had it there. We cycle through, there we go. And then here you can just connect it up with the roof on the other side, and we should end up with something looking like this. I think that adds a little bit of extra character to the front or the back, depends on what way you see the building. So let's move on with the porch. So we have this little base figure so far. To give ourselves a little bit of extra space, we'll add another layer here for the full ceilings, and then we can make it a little bit more interesting shape, because this is very square, of course. So what I like to do is add a layer of these quarter ceilings, but then the triangles to the outside, so you get a little bit of a more interesting shape to your porch, because the building is already pretty square, so I feel like it's nice to add a little bit more shape into these porch areas, and you get a little bit of extra room this way as well. We want to build some guidelines so we can place some pillars where we want them as supports, so they don't stick out too much higher. So definitely on all these corners, I think, because then we can place the pillars like this instead of them sticking out too much. There we go. And actually, I don't think this is lining up correctly. Will it let me do that? Or did I place the guideline on the wrong way? Might have placed the guideline. Yeah, I don't think it will let me. Yeah, because that one does. All right, so let's place the guideline here. Let's pick this up, and now I should be able to place it like this. I mean, it doesn't really matter that much, but it's just personal preference. I like the pillars lining up this way. So let's get rid of these guides. We don't need them anymore. We can fill it in with fences in a little bit. Let's get rid of these guys as well. Let's check if all the pillars are facing the right way. This is also turned a little bit, so let's add a new guideline so we can have it all nicely lined up with each other, and then pick up the last one here, and then we can fill in the fences, the railings, so we have the porch protected. Of course, you could add multiple stairs wherever you want it to connect to. For me, I'm just gonna have one here in the middle. I don't think we need a big stair, but if you want that, if you want to have like maybe a double stair at the side here, or you want to have like 3 stairs in the middle, or even bigger, you can do that, of course, depending on what you need and what you want. I think 1 is fine, so we'll fill this in, the stairs right there. Then we want to add some guides again first we'll add the railing if it will let me. Sometimes, especially when going into the ground, it might be a little bit more difficult. So we'll add in the guides first, because sometimes the pillars will help adding another snap point. Let's pick up these guides again. Oh. Yes, let's pick these up. There we go. And then let's see if we can place the railing the way we want to now. Sometimes, because it's in the ground a bit, it's a little bit more difficult. But you should be able to get it in there, maybe. Let's switch through all of them. It doesn't seem to let me get the right one that we have on the other side. So I think we'll have to accept this one, maybe. In worst case scenario, you just pick these for both sides, and that's also fine. So there we go. We have the first porch here done, looking nicely at the front. Then on the side, we're going to add another porch as well. So we'll start with some wooden ceilings and make the shape you want. You can make this as big as small as you want to have it. I like to have these a little bit bigger so that you could add some crops maybe here, or some extra details on the side. Just nice little additions to your base to be outside a little bit as well. Again, on the end, I like to add these so I have a nice shape. Of course, you can do the same on the other side, but let's just first focus on this one, and you can repeat it on the other side the same way. Again, the guidelines, we use them for these pillars so that we can place them on the right height, because it just looks a little bit better. And then we want to have pillars as well in the middle here, because it is not really like an exact middle. So we want to have one on this corner, and then we're gonna add one right in front, or two right in front of the door, because that makes the most sense. Again, this doesn't really matter too much, doesn't change too much. So if you want to have them differently, or you have a different shape you want to have as a porch, go for it. Feel free to make your own variations. And there we go. We're connecting up all the railings. And at the end, of course, we want to have some stairs going down, some easy access as well. And it will actually let me place everything. Nice. There we go. So this you want to place on the other side as well, but for the time, we'll skip that here. All right, so you should have something like this, and then it's time to start adding some details to the roof. And that, of course, means a lot of railings, because that is the way to add detail now. They are so versatile. I like to add it like this. Of course, again, if you don't like to have all the railings that I show here, you can do it differently. But first we'll go around the border of the roof, just to add a little bit more oomph to it, a little bit more character, and make it stand out a little bit more, because I think that is nice. And we'll do the same on the big roof. Basically, this is what you want to repeat on all sides. So we have them sticking out with just the legs on the top, and then we connect them the same way at the bottom, so we have a nice railing going along the edge of the roof. Sometimes it can be a little bit tricky getting the right snap point, but once you start, you should be able to connect the fences to each other to make it all line up nicely. Make sure to flip them the right way if they're not. And then we have this on the front, but now, as I said, we basically do this for all sides of the roof the same way. So you just go along, adding them at the top, and then adding one railing below as well for the extra detail, extra character to the end of the roofs. I especially like the ends of the roofs, just to stand out a little bit more and be less flat, I guess. There we go, to this side as well. Just repeat it on all sides, as I've said. Not that hard. Okay, once you've done all that, you want to add these railings as well on the ends of the roof. So you just go around all of the building and add these sticking out, because, yeah, again, it adds some extra nice character to the build. Add some more detail, less flat lines. I think it looks nice. But if you don't like them, of course, you can leave this step out, save yourself some railings. But I think it looks very nice just add these little details sticking out, like it's beams basically, the structure of the roof sticking out on the side. And just go along the entirety to add all of these. Let's do it on the other side as well. Just to add this little trim basically. There we go. Should be nice and easy. And yeah, we did that already. So then what we want to do, of course, we want to do the details on these little bits as well. Shouldn't be too difficult. They are not that big. But, you know, might as well match the roofs on all sides. So even these smaller ones, we want to make sure they match up with the design of the rest of them. Very easy. But I do think it looks nice because it just gets rid of those flat lines you have everywhere. And it makes it a little bit more interesting to look at, in my opinion. There we go. Should be done like so. There we go. Then on the top of the roof, I like to add the railings as well. Again, just to add a little bit of more details standing out, make it less flat. And it's not too much effort to do it. And it does, in my opinion, really make the build come to life. Just add that extra little bit to it. There we go. So we connect these up as well. We have to be mindful of the overlap in the middle. So we'll connect it like this. And there we go. Again, the lining up, the snap points can sometimes be difficult. But yeah, you should have something like this. And then, of course, we want to connect these as well. Because why not? We might as well. And it looks a little bit better, in my opinion. Anyway, you could add even more details to the roof, like there's lots of little lines you could add, but that's all personal preference, so I won't do that in this tutorial for now. Alright, there we go. On the inside, we have these gaps now for the roof, so we want to fill in the quarter walls so that we don't see the outside anymore. Make sure that we have an airtight building here, so you just want to go along all the edges and check if you have no gaps left, like so. Just connect them all the way through, because otherwise, I mean, it doesn't look like you've finished your base, you know. Want to make sure we add them in along the entire edge of these walls. Also, it really gives the windows a nice finish because you have that little layer above it now instead of it just ending in basically nothing. Which also makes it look a little bit better, in my opinion. That's not what we want. Can I pick it up? Probably not. Probably have to pick up the window. There we go. So yeah, just add in all of these bits until it's all filled in. And then we want to basically make sure that we have the pillars. Make sure they're not sticking out of the roof, because that might look weird. So make sure they line up with the top of these quarter walls we just placed, and just go around your whole build again to fill in these last little bits of the pillars so they don't just end in nothing, and make it look a little bit nicer and make a little bit more sense, like so. So we just go around all of them. That should be it. And then on the big front part, you could add even more supports, like so, to make it look a little bit nicer, less flat for these big roof parts. Again, make sure they don't stick out of the roof, and you can just fill them in like so, because I think it just adds that little bit extra support on the outside as well. You can do that on all sides, of course, where you have these bigger roof parts. So again, make sure you pick the right one so it doesn't stick out of the top, and just fill in like so for some extra support on these end bits. There we go. This one as well. Just make sure that nothing sticks out where it shouldn't. And there we go. Then on the front, of course, we can do the same. Go. Even though on this side you won't see it on the outside, because we already added that extra level of detail, of course, but on the inside still you will see it just as completion. You know, you want to probably keep it all the same way. Okay, and then on the outside as well, we have, of course, the little extra roof sticking out, which, I mean, it looks fine like this, but you can add some extra beams to make it look even more supported. So you probably want to add in these beams to make the structure all completed. And then we can do the same like so. Make sure nothing's sticking out. And there we have it. That should be the workshop completely done, and you can start to decorate. As promised, I'm also going to show you what this workshop looks like in my own survival server. I placed it in these ruins, so I had to do a little bit of adjusting to make everything fit in the right way. You know, got rid of some windows because it's just facing like a cliff or some walls of the ruins itself. Also, instead of all the porches, I have a little balcony at the front end, and I have only one porch at one of the sides. But this is what I mean with adjusting these builds to your own situation, your own location, and making it work for you. I also have one of the big gates that I can't use because, again, there's nowhere to go there. So instead I turn it into a window, which I think looks pretty nice as well. So let's do a little walk around. Okay, so here we go. We're in my base inside the ruins, and as you can see, I lined up the gate on this end right here, and I have the little porch on the side. I have some water access so that I can have my crops here growing, and I have a little bench and table just to sit around, you know, join that side, you know, maybe have a tribe meeting if you need to discuss some plans. And again, we've got a feeding trough and some plants here, just so that everything is nicely detailed. And then for the main hallway, as you can see, you got a lot of storage on the sides. Here, a lot of walls. And as you can see, I don't have any of the windows on this side, but that's because I'm facing a cliff and some walls, so there's nothing to see. Got a grinder here. We got a chemistry chemistry thing here. We got the fabricator here. So all the machines that you should need should be able to fit and make all the noises they do. We got this gate where I couldn't go anywhere, so I made it into a window by placing the railing from stone and then just flipping upside down wood every way until the top. Got a little smithy here with the map. We got the stairs going down a little bit steeper here, but it does look very, very cool for easy access to everything where I need to craft with my dinos. As I said, I didn't have room for the big porch, but I turned it to this little balcony where I can still enjoy the view and, you know, appreciate my base if this will let me do it. Yeah, oh, nope, not that. There we go. So a little balcony here to still have some outside space. And yeah, this should pretty much be everything you need. You have plenty of space to fit it all in. Let's turn off all these machines because they make so much noise. I built it with ceilings, and that left me these secret rooms for my generator, so I can place it below because it's all ceilings instead of foundations. So that's another advantage of using ceilings instead of normal foundations, because you can hide it there, but otherwise you can just place it normally inside the building. I think it's a pretty nice build. It's definitely big enough to fit everything in. You could, I guess, add second layer if you would want to, but this works for me.